What's going on, guys? It is DigiWatch coming to you with a market watch. Now, we are just a couple of weeks before BT9 is released, and I want to show you some cards that I think you should be picking up now prior to that release. With that said, please like, subscribe, and leave your thoughts below on what you'd like to see next. Now, first up, before we get into any real decks or cards, one thing I wanted to kind of go over is some of the cool pickups you can get from sleeves. Now, if you're a collector like me, you like to collect some stuff like not just Digimon cards, but also Digimon, sleeves or playmats. And TCG, I'm not associated, not affiliated with them. They're not paying me anything, but they do have the sleeves for about $10 each. I think these are the older versions with the Vmon, but pretty good pickup. You have the Imperial Digimon Fighter mode, and then of course you got some of the other ones here that are kind of going up in price. This is going for $14. Then you have $18, and then the ones that are more recent are going for 20, 26, about that kind of price. But so check that out if you have a chance. But with that said, let's get into some of our picks. Now, first one I wanted to bring up is Howling Crusher. Now, Howling Crusher is a blue option card that is a 7 cost, and it goes in the Beelstar deck. And with the Beelstar deck, for basically what you're doing is you're playing a new Tamer. I don't remember the name of it. I mean, I do know it's like a really long name. It's from Ghost Game. But basically, it's like if you have a level 5 Digimon and in play, and I think it's like if it deletes one of your opponent's Digimon or something like that, you get to draw one. And basically, that works really well with this entire deck. That if your cards get deleted that are level 5 or higher, you get to draw cards. Of course, you're playing option cards, so you may actually get less cards in hand to activate its effect. I think the effect actually says like if you have 7 or less cards. So it gets you an extra draw, and sometimes that extra draw can be the difference between winning and losing. So with the Howling Crusher here, it's about $3. And I don't know how much longer this is going to stay at this price, but I would suggest maybe picking this up right before it comes out. Now, going into a couple of our promo cards, Hero over here, this is the official Tournament Pack 5. This is the current promotional card given if you attend tournaments. And it's actually the highest price out of all the cards. And it has this really interesting effect of when you have a Gilmon in it, or Gilmon that has Gilmon in its Digivolution cards, you can suspend the Tamer, give it security +1, and as you can see over the last month, it's kind of trended upward. I'm not really certain exactly how good the Gilmon deck is in future formats, but I'm wondering if this is why people are looking to pick it up now. Is if it does have a lot of extra effect, extra play in future formats. It could be a good pickup. I just thought I'd highlight it here. So it is a 3 cost here to play, and the only thing I will say about this, which is kind of interesting, is there is a big boss monster that comes out in BT10. I don't remember the name of it, but basically it could copy any of the Gammamon effects that are underneath it and its evolution sources, so that's something that may be prompting the effect over here to go up. We then have Mimi over here. In our current format, it's going for about $11. It is being seen in Imperial Digimon. It's also being seen in Green Hybrid. So this is the Tamer pack, and I think it's actually not the most expensive one. I think the Mimi that's a rare version of it is actually a little bit more expensive. They're almost like the same price, but like maybe a few cents more. So you may be wanting to pick this up. And of course, if you want, there is the box topper version of this, which is a little bit more pricey. But yeah, just bringing that up if you want to pick that up. Going into the opposite side of this, we see that Gammamon has pretty much dropped a lot in price. It was going for 15, and now it is going for about $9.75, going on to 10. So still pretty low, and if you don't have your playset, I would suggest picking up your copies now. As far as I know, I think there's only 3 Gammamon that are currently out in the game, but there's going to be more probably released in future sets. Going into our last promo, and actually a really good segue into BT9, is the grumon promo from BT1. So we do see it is this is part of the box topper set. If you bought like BT1, you get like a champion and ultimate, and you can get like the Greymon, a Metal Greymon, or There are other ones, but like you could also get the Where Grumon package. Now, Grumon X seems to be a very popular deck coming out in BT9, and it is like sort of an OTK. There is a more control version of it, but the main purpose is to OTK because with this card, it gives it security +1. This is the very big strategy that you want to go with. Basically, you want to have 8 or more cards in your hand, and then you swing at your opponent, and there's a lot of sources that go underneath this. So the thing is, all the sources that go underneath it do have a effect that gives it a +1,000 security. So usually you get this to 8 or 9,000 DP, swing at their security. And if you do hit something big, there is a different, I think it's the Grumon X antibody that lets you trash 2 cards of the same level to save it from getting deleted. So that's sort of the strategy you go with this. So basically, you can swing into their security, unsuspend, digivolve into your mega. It gets the security +1. You attack with your mega. You do the same thing. You gain a memory, or you use the effect, whatever effect you're going to use, and then you can go into your Metal Grumon X, Metal Grumon X, and swing again because it does unsuspend itself, and it'll still have the extra security checks. So you OTK your opponent basically that way. And as we see over here, it is going for $11. I got these months ago, so I got them when they were pretty much around that like $4 mark, but now they are full price at $11, and they're going to just keep going up in my opinion. So I would suggest picking this up now if you're looking to play Where Grumon X. Going into the other part of Grumon, it's the Metal Grumon we're looking at here. So Metal Grumon over here is one digivolving gain 1 memory for every 4 cards in your hand. As I said before, a lot of this deck style is to have more than 8 cards in hand. So by the time you get to Metal Grumon X, you hopefully will have something like 8 cards in hand. So if you have 2 of them at least, or like 8 cards, you gain 2 memory back. So Metal Grumon is really just 2 cost. And then there are other cards that basically you can gain memory from still. But the big reason why you're doing this is so that you can go into Metal Grumon X for 1 and keep it your turn. So if you start at 3, you digivolve into this, you gain back memory, putting yourself pretty much at 1, being able to swing with this, and then you can digivolve into the Metal Grumon X on top of it. So this is the EX version of it, and as you can see, it's going for $25, $26. It is seeing a very big spike in price, going up to about 25, 26, and I think it's going to continue to rise. Honestly, this person over here has it at 45. I wouldn't be surprised if it got to 35 by the end of the month. We only do have about 2 weeks before the set is officially released, and 1 week before the pre-release. So something to think about. Again, this is the other version of it. If you're more of a budget player, you don't want to spend for the alternate arts, you can pick up these over here. I always like to just give it a little bit of an option to pick up. So there's the Metal Grumon X, or the Metal Grumon, sorry. Now the other deck I am actually looking to make, personally, is the Magnum On Deck. I'm a very big fan of yellow and blue, and since they are both my favorite colors, I'm going to be trying to make this deck as competitive as possible. So in the last couple of days, as we've seen, it's actually reached, it's about $50 as a median price. You can see there's one listing of 45, and then it jumps to 50, 50, 50, 55. This is the alternate art version. There is a regular art. I think it's this one over here. Yeah, so this one's going for $9, but if you're looking to max raid your deck, this personally is one of my favorite cards. I honestly don't even think I would necessarily get rid of this card if I ever gave up Digimon, just because it is such a gorgeous looking card, and it's such a interesting effect of being able to armor digivolve from 3 for Vmon, have blocker, have armor purge, and have the one digivolving effect, and then the Magnum On X having the ability to pretty much digivolve right from him using their option card, or they can potentially just Jogress summon and digivolve into their Shikuromon, which is I think how you're supposed to make this as the alternate way. So just some things to think about if you're playing this deck. Really interesting deck, really cool deck. And as I said, it's going for 45 here, 9 over here. Going into some of the other cards, we see Gilmon. Gilmon had a little bit of a drop. to $18. It was selling for about the $20-$24 mark, but as we see, more are on the market now. Honestly, this card has a mixed, I guess you could say it's mixed feelings about it, because a lot of people still like the Vmon engine, and some people might be leaning toward keeping the Vmon engine, because you could play other cards in a regular full-on yellow deck to give it a red advantage. So just keeping that in mind. Looking into our Vmons, basically this is like the last time you'll really see some Vmons, and actually I wanted to talk about a couple of different things I noticed. First off, this is the Ultimate Cup Vmon. We just had a few Ulti Cups these past weekends, and about 128 players from each tournament will be receiving these, and at least half of them are probably going to list them. So as you see over here, it was around the 133 price. It has been dropping steadily. I honestly think this is going to probably stop at $80. This is the Jamming Vmon, and its artwork is really gorgeous. Honestly, I was in this tournament as well, and I really like the fact that you have the fighter mode in the background with Gilmon and Vmon. Some of my favorite Digimon from my watching the show when I was growing up. Going into our other Vmons though, we have the Vmon that is the Jamming Vmon, selling for $11, but as we can see, it really did drop from what its price was. It was going for about $17. Really when BT8 was starting up, and it just has been steadily dropping. Honestly, if you're looking to play Magnum On X, I'd probably hold off just a tiny more and just see if it's going to drop below 10 before picking them up. Now, this one, I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so. This is one of the cards that I was very much telling people, and you could look back at my previous market watches, probably about maybe say a month ago, and I did say that I thought Vmon for $40, which is what it was going for a couple of weeks ago, was way too much. And I said, if you're a collector and you're just looking to pick up Vmon because it's your favorite Digimon, but you're on a budget, you should hold off till a few weeks, probably the first week of BT9, and Vmon should be much more cheaper. And look at, lo and behold, it is right where I said it would be. I said it would be between $20-$25, and it is going for $25. So I really hope people really took a lesson from this. And if you did buy these at $40, your return on investment is really essentially really bad. So I would hold off on picking these up. Now, if you're, again, a collector, but maybe you want to get these even cheaper, I would even wait till midway through BT9, because Vmon does not get support until EX3. So you'll have a lot of time in between to get what you need with these alternate arts. Now, if you don't want to and you're going to say, you know what, I think it's going to go up, I honestly wouldn't think it would be fine if you pick this up at $20-$25. Going into our final few cards, I wanted to pick a few. Omni X Antibody. It is an X Antibody card. It does have that as a trait. It is from BT5, and it is a classic collection alternate art. I think that this is a decent card to consider picking up. You can Digivolve for 3 on top of an Omnimon, and we do have a lot of different Omnimons that will be coming out in the near future, or actually, sorry, one in particular that will come out in the near future that has a really crazy effect. But for your decks that can attack multiple times, including stuff like Mother D Reaper, this is such a very powerful card. Just being able to block, not even block, it'll negate the attacks by trashing 2 cards from underneath it. So that's something to keep in mind. The price has been dropping. It was around $30. It has been getting closer and closer down to $20. I think this is going to drop a tiny bit more, because honestly, it is a very select card with only a few, I guess you could say, builds that include it. Now, last and not least is our Alphamon, and I'm just going to really quickly talk about Alphamon. So we have this one being for 23 and this one being for about 35, and there's a very, very small difference between these two arts, although this is a really great art, and if you have it, I would definitely suggest having it, holding up a copy maybe for collector value. I would sell any extra copies of this. Now, when we get to BT9, and if you're playing the Alphamon deck, the thing is that you really play 1 to 2 copies of Alphamon, and this is not the Alphamon that is your main goal. You're really actually playing the rare version that you get from BT9 that has the ability to de-digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon, and then you're playing the level 7 that you can digivolve on top if you have an Alphamon. And for this, I don't know. I'm very much split on why a lot of people don't play this copy of the card, because it could keep it your turn and go into the Alphamon or you can. So I might hold on to 1 to 2 of these, but if you have a lot of copies, I would suggest selling. And then the same thing for here. If you have 1 to 2 copies you want to hold on to, or even a playset, you may want to consider holding on to these, because these I think are just going to continue to drop. Finally, in our last little thing, I always like to finish up with a little bit of a memory boost, and I like to look at some cards and just see if I was right, or some listings here. So with the memory boost over here, we have Prime Memory Boost that actually dropped a little bit. If I don't recall, I think I said $17 was what it was at last time a few weeks ago when I looked at this last, and it did go down a tiny bit. And remember, this is used for the Skull Knight on deck, so if it continues to drop, I would definitely consider picking up. I think if it hits 12, I think you should go for your playset, or how many you're going to play in for Skull Knightmon. Other cards to kind of take a look at here is the Red Memory Boost, just keeping it steady at about $11 over here. And then something interesting here, we see Green Memory Boost did go up a little bit, and I think it's because the Green Hybrid deck did some things and just raised some eyebrows, and so people are starting to buy a few copies of the alternate version of it from BT7's box toppers. Just remember though, if you are short on cash, there is the alternate version here that is basically very easy to get. I believe you get 1 to 2 copies. I think it's one full set of like each of these. If you get the All Force Vmon or the Gilmon On Decks that came out a few months ago. So that is definitely something to consider. But with that said, that's all I have for you today. I hope this was helpful to you. I hope that you make smart decisions on what you're going to pick up. Live life well, enjoy, and I'll see you next time. Peace.